Well, that's why.
I got everything here. Hey guys, sorry about that. I promised I wouldn't be all pixelated this time, and it's we rented lights today for a video we shot with Denice, so you're stuck with me and my lights, my producer. Look, we got like swag back here, whatever. Oh, look at that. My producer's here helping me. So, hey Lauren. Okay, there she is. She gave me the thumbs up. So hey all, I'll fill in the description later because I was already running late. But tonight we talk about, I talk about the fight that Denice and I have had over the last couple of days. It was a good one. But I'm also going to talk about how we can get lazy when things become too easy. And this is the kind of guy I am. This is bugging me. Whatever. So, hey Bob, my producer. Do you need help? I love that. So yeah. So the first thing, thanks for coming, guys. Welcome to Man Mondays. This is the 7th of May, 2018, and happy to have you here. For those of you just joining, I am writing a book called Happily Unsingle, and I keep bugging you guys all the time. Hey, Marie, that I'm doing a masterclass. Actually, starting next Tuesday is when this masterclass is going to start. I know I've been talking about doing it for a long time, but so one more Man Monday before the masterclass. I'm going to still do them, but yes, Nelson. Yeah. So if you go to happily-unsingle.com and answer my one question survey, you will get free admission to this masterclass, which will go 4 weeks starting on the 15th, which is a Tuesday night. So, and that'll be the same time. It'll be 9:30 Eastern. And yeah. So first point I wanted to bring up is a talk I was having with Denice. This was before we were fighting, and this was a note about how it's easy to get lazy if you've been good at stuff. If things sort of come easy to you, it's easy to get lazy. Growing up, sports were kind of easy for me, but I think there's a don't worry guys, there's a tie into this. I think there's a relationship to your environment as well. Neither of my parents were really sports type people. My dad never played sports. My mom actually played sports. She's the one that taught me how to throw a baseball, in fact. And they both loved music, which was good. My father decided that we were going to learn how to play an instrument. So I didn't really have anybody sort of showing me these things that I wanted to do. And so it was like it was something that I had to like figure out and just do a lot of. Fortunately, where I was, there was a lot of kids my age who played sports, so I had other people to bounce stuff off of. But music, not so much. Music, I actually had to do like on my own, and it was in that way not super easy. Trying to figure stuff out on your own. I didn't really take lessons. It was there wasn't mentorship and that kind of thing. And I can't remember how it came up, but I was thinking about my daughter and what an amazing voice she has. Those of you guys probably know her as a photographer, which she is an amazing photographer as well. But she grew up playing, singing. She was singing with me since she was like 5 years old. She would actually come up on stage and sing, and way too late for her bedtime and stuff, but it was a blast. And I remember when she was younger, I asked if she wanted to take voice lessons, and her reaction was like, "I already know how to sing." I was like, "Oh, that's true." Just doesn't quite have the idea that, yeah, you know how to sing, but in order to really take it to a different level. They're just, you know, she just didn't have the idea that a different level, you know, was even there or something that even mattered. But yeah, so the tie-in here is relationships. Sometimes relationships are easy, you know, and we can get lazy that way. I try not to get that way with Denice. I'm scrolling down here because I want to say hi to some folks before I get into this a little more. Marie, Jill, happy birthday, Jill. Jill's birthday was yesterday. Kevin Grant, right on, dude. Carolyn Kleinschmidt, hey. Oh, and Angela. Hey, all you cool people. Bobby, great to have you. Maurice, good to hear you. Good to have you again. Tom, Aris, of course, dude. So anyway, when a relationship is clicking, sometimes it just seems easy, and it's kind of easy to sort of slide into getting lazy, you know. But as we, you know, as we go, we sort of realize that things don't ever stay the same. They're getting better or they're getting worse. So if things are going great in your relationship, awesome. It's now time to kick it up a notch. That's the quick advice for this part of it. But and that's, you know, hopefully I'm adding some value to you guys with these videos, so that, you know, that helps you. And if you're not doing great in your relationship, then, you know, hopefully this advice is even more valuable to you, because I do really want, Mary Elizabeth, hello. I do really want everyone to have the type of relationship that Denice and I have. I think we have a great relationship, even when we're fighting. So I will segue.
Don't stay on too long, all right? You got plumbing to fix.
No, I don't. I don't have plumbing to fix, finally. We have a phone on our wall that we just call and have them fix it. So, but I've talked to you guys about the honey-do list before, how I haven't had one for decades. And that's not because I have someone else do it. It's because I just don't let it get to a point where she has a list of things for me to do. Anyway, so here was the fight. The fight was, and this had come up actually, I don't say we have these fights a lot, but if we have fights, they are more along the lines of this type of thing. She's giggling right now. It's basically because one of us isn't kicking ass the way that we should be. It's kind of that, and it's like, oh, that's great. My weakness is that I work too hard. It's whatever. It's bullshit. But the thing is really that as an artist, it's very easy for us to. Hey guys, I get distracted because you guys are so awesome. Gary, Tim, Vinny. Hey, thanks for joining. Yeah, as an artist, actually, I mean, if you're living and you want stuff out of life, you really are living like an artist. You know, you're creating things, hopefully, with your life, with your relationships, and with the people that you deal with all the time. So, in that, we can, we have certain levels of expectations of what we do. And there are times where we may not meet those expectations. And that puts us into this weird funk of, okay, so that's not, I wasn't able to do that. I kind of feel bad about it, but it still worked out okay, right? This actually does tie into the too easy thing and getting lazy, by the way. And so our fight directly started because we spent all day today, by the way. I'm gonna pan over. I have this new light I'm using because we rented a light because we did a shoot today. There's another light in the other room. We redid a video shoot today that Denice amazingly shot on her own about a week and a half ago, and even got to the point where it was edited. Steve Eckelberry had done some cool editing for us, and we got it back, and then I was just like, you know what, I just don't like it. And she's like, what do you mean? I was like, it's just not good enough. It's for her skin cream. For those of you who know her skin cream, it's amazing skin cream. And this video just didn't live up to that standard. And then the conversation sort of shifted into, well, I mean, she was well pissed off about it, as I understood. Certain technical things that weren't in line with the way that I would have wanted it to be. One, she did it all on her own. Okay, she set up the lighting. It was an accomplishment and then some, which made it harder for me to say that I didn't like it. But I had my own integrity that I had to keep, and I was like, okay, well, honey, you're gonna hate this, but we can't use this. And we'd already paid Steven to edit it. She'd spent however many hours shooting it. It was just like a problem. And I was just like, you know what, it's just not good enough. So we need to redo it. And then it was, she got solid, and she started, her eyes get all teary, and she comes to probably defend her point.
I'm sorry, only because I make a living doing this that I need to put this in here.
Wait.
I just have to say, when you're doing a brand video, there's probably about 10 different elements that are being shot. You're shooting the interview of the person talking, you're shooting a bunch of B-roll, there's like lots of different parts of it. The part he didn't like was the part where I was basically interviewing myself. So I had to light myself, I had to mic myself, I had to do my hair, do my makeup.
I was in Vegas, right?
And I needed to get through it quickly because I was going to be taking my cat to the vet, knowing she may or may not do well. So
see all this right here. This is what I was running into, and I was like, "Oh, you're not going to like."
But
this.
I knew that if I didn't get it done, then I had to leave to San Diego to do this podcast, and all the other elements were filmed and were great, right? We had to film shots of me as a photographer and shots of me with clients and healthy living, but it was the interview of me that I was kind of, I'll do everybody else. So I did it. And there were some technical things that just, whatever. Okay, but I just wanted to let people know that it was that one part of me.
Man Monday.
Okay, back. Geez.
So anyway, as you just heard, and as you saw the emotion there, amplify that by 10, 20 is what I was running into, understandably, and I did understand it. So, but it still was like, I can't just let it go. It's like I had this conversation with someone who I was consulting a bit on their relationship, and I just said, listen, there's no time to mess around. I don't want to beat around the bush. I don't want to say, oh no, you're doing okay. You're not. You're really fucking up. You're messing it up. Here's what you're doing. It's bullshit. And you just got to knock it off. And we just don't have time to mess around. I guess it's New York now. It's that's like being part of me now. It's just that way. We just don't have time to mess around and to accept things that aren't good and right and make us feel good and make us better, right? So that's where I was with Denice. I was like, it's just not right, and I can't accept it. So it was it was an issue. Even Sid was mad. We were all mad. In fact, I'm Irish. It's a bit of a switch. It's like I'm good. Blah! It's like that. Maybe not blah. It's more, I don't know. It's more intense, but whatever. and after I said my piece and Denice was like, fine, we'll do it, I was like, I need to take a walk. And I went up on the roof and I looked around, just, got some space, really looked at things. I didn't look at you, Sid. You weren't on the roof. And oddly enough, there was a whole group of people up there, and they were super sweet and asked me to take photos of them. So I was like, okay. And, helping is always good. So, it pulled me out of a little bit of it, and took pictures of them, and then went back and just looking, getting space and stuff. And then I went back down. I came back down to the apartment here, and we, I'm like, I was not the most talkative person. And I was like, what, like really putting things in place to get this new shoot done as quickly as possible, because it's not like we have a lot of time, again, no time, to mess around. And it's already at this point, we've wasted a lot of time and some money. So I wasn't happy, she wasn't happy, but the thing was, and this is the point that I want to make, is you need to stay in the game, right? I didn't leave and go get drunk with my friends and go to a strip bar, and that's not the gig. It's like, you need to stay in the game. If you're fighting, it's like, yeah, when you're angry, it's like, nothing really goes through, but if it's important enough, like you're on a team, right? And I've had guys on a team just walk off and stop playing. That's not a teammate. So if that's what you want to do, then I suggest you do that and leave the other person alone, because they're probably better off without you. But ideally, you stay there and you stay in it, and you, however you can, just keep chipping away. And it doesn't have to be all roses. I mean, if you really fucked up, then bring roses, of course. But I just came back and I sat there, and I was working on my stuff, she was working on her stuff, and little talk here and there, not much, because we weren't really at that mode. And then really that's sort of how the night went, and just more, and okay, so we have to get this, yeah, okay, so now I'm looking at gear to rent because we don't have the equipment that we need to get the shot we really need. She's looking at other videos that would show the right kind of thing, and yes, I like that, no, I don't like that. Just staying in the game, One thing I had told her before, I mean, we do fight, but I think at this point, we just, because of things like this, we know how to get through the other side, and that's really the point, is just getting through the other side. But I had told her before, even when I'm angry with her, I still like her, It's like I still love her, even though I don't like her at the time. Because when you're mad, it's like you don't like that, right? You don't like the activity, the person, what they said or whatever. But even with whatever that is going on, it's like I still like her, and that's super important. When I was in college, one of the things I learned, I was a resident assistant, which is sort of a babysitter for a dorm. And one of the things that I learned was separate the action from the person. Not easy to do, but important, especially in your relationship, Sister. Just that. The separation of, this is not the person. This is what the person is doing. Liz, you finally made one right now. So that went on all last night. I mean, we had the little blow up yesterday afternoon, and it went on all night. And it's, by night we had worked through most of it. I'm saying most of it because not all of it. And the idea of not going to bed angry, that's probably 99% of the time for us. But there's but there's, you know, sometimes we, Liz, it's okay if you're a little late. You're all good. Yeah, we're pretty good. We're pretty good at that. She says I'm good at that, which is really nice. But sometimes that it's just like, you know what? I'm just going to bed. Sometimes I just go to bed and I'm like, and I'm mad and I'm going to bed. And I don't sleep well, of course. I think that's the reason why you want to not go to bed angry, because you don't sleep that way, right? But yeah, so just staying in it. It was, you know, it was better last night. It wasn't totally handled, but it was better. And then today, you know, even today, we're doing the shoot today, and I had to go pick up gear, and I have like other work to do. I had a meeting at 1 o'clock. I had, you know, a call at 9. You know, for my other stuff, for my like regular work stuff. I actually have an office I'm supposed to be in that I have only been in once this month, but you know, we needed to do certain things in order to get it done, and I had to go get one piece of gear, and Denice had to go get other pieces of gear, and then there was a thing with you know, the credit cards, and this one, because it's a debit card, there's a limit on the amount that they can put on the card. So it's like, oh Jesus, another thing that she's not happy with, another thing that I'm not happy with, and it's like, okay, slugging through. Finally, we set everything up. I have my meeting. We get here. I get her mic'd. We start shooting. Okay, and I'm like I'm the tech guy now, and she sort of has this attitude of, well, I'm just going to be the talent because you didn't like the technical stuff last time. That was sort of going in, and I'm like, I can have that because, yeah, I'm the guy who said that it technically wasn't right. So now I have to make sure that it's technically right, even though it's actually a little more her wheelhouse than mine. I do still know how to do it, so I'm going to do it. And I had the mics all set up. Yeah, sometimes, Aris, that's the gig. You know, sometimes it's just when it rains it pours. So we're setting it all up, and it's, you know, I've got a boom mic because I really wanted to sound great, because, you know, sound is so super important with these videos. And so I have a boom mic, and I have her wireless lavalier. Look, I'm demoing this as I go, and then I have it all going into my old laptop, which has Logic on it. And she was like, why are we doing that? We've never done that before. And I'm like, because it sounds the best. And I just wanted to sound the best. I'm like trying to overcompensate now. She's giggling because I didn't tell her that before. Like, I wanted to sound as good as possible. I wanted it to be like, oh, this is going to be so great. So, yeah, she knew. I had like 17 microphones. It's going to be amazing. 56 cameras and 39 lights. It's going to look amazing. So you guys will see this video and you're going to go, really? That's what you did?
This is true teamship. Now he's directing me. So now I have to say,
oh, yeah.
In your face cream, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, okay. Could you just say that again? Because you kind of sound like you were like an announcer in Romper Room.
You did, though! I'll show the outcuts. The outtakes? I don't even know what the hell they're called.
But, like, that's the true power of having to pull your shit together, because you're on freaking camera, and we had about $40,000 worth of gear. And I couldn't let any of this affect what was going to be on screen. But it's really tough when that's directing this.
Did you see that? It's still going on, I think. Anyway, so yeah, that was funny. I hadn't even gotten to that point yet. So we're doing we're like, okay, we're rolling, and you know, she's got her script, and if any one good thing came of the doing the video before is she did it on her own the first time, and so she, like, for 2 hours she's like, how do I say this? How should I say this? And it's just going and going and going, and this PR company that we're working with culled it down to like a 3-minute version, which was genius. So now suddenly we had an actual script. So so that was really cool. So she was working with the script, and at one point, there's a couple of points I was like, could you not ask that? Just say that line. That's funny, Lauren. It'd be boring, I think, generally, Lauren, because we don't sleep with other people. We don't. There's no drug problems here, whatever. Oh, thanks, Liz. So we're going and we're recording, right? And we get about halfway done, and then I realized that I looked over, and my laptop was not running. So all of these mics hadn't recorded a damn thing. She's laughing now. She wasn't laughing when I told her. I'm like,
but I didn't get crazy.
We have to start again. She's like, what?
I didn't get crazy.
Oh, no, she didn't get crazy, but she's like, the light's different. I'm like, yeah. Yeah, I know. And then, of course, I was like, yeah, but the light's more like you wanted it anyway.
Which is good, because it's true.
But it was true. So we had to start it again, and I made sure that the freaking computer was running, that my program was actually turned on. It was on, but it just, I had taken the record off and forgot to put it back on. So anyway, she did it again. It was great. I think right up into the point I had mentioned romper room, but it was still a little tense, like, during this whole thing, because it's just like she's doing something that she didn't want to do. She just didn't want to have to do it again, and it was just like stress and gear and hassle, and in a cab, or she didn't take a cab, she took a Via, which is like a rideshare Uber in New York here, and they dropped her off like a block and a half away, so she had all this gear, and she's like, I don't know, like a caterpillar moving it a couple of feet down.
And took my stuff and put it in his cab, because he thought, why?
Yes, some guy starts to pick it up and put it in his cab, like he thought it was an Uber, like he was picking her up.
Stop to rest.
Yeah. So we're going through all this, and we have a girl who comes to help us with social media and stuff, and she was great. She was here, Catherine, and she was here helping us out, and fortunately Catherine was here, because it may have been even more tense, but we had to kind of be a little more.
Right?
We had to be a little bit more social with her here. So, but she's great, so that helped. It definitely helped the mood.
Funny.
She's very funny, and
you have an audience member will laugh.
Yeah. So we're finally done. It's like, yes, it's done. And Denice is like, well, can we see some of the footage? And I'm like, the dailies. like, what if it isn't good? That's all I can think of. So we saw some, and it was, it looked great. And I checked the audio, and it sounded great. So, now we actually have to edit it, but that's a whole different thing. But of course, now that we finished that, it was like, a little sigh of relief. Denice realized she hadn't eaten almost anything all day, because she's just been going. I had a meeting at 1. You had a meeting at it was just like tick, 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 tick all day, and she had some podcast stuff she had to do tonight. Another Facebook Live she had to do. Thanks, Larry. And then it was like, it was done. It was a wrap. I said, okay, we're wrapped. And then she was like, all right, let's go get pizza. And I was like, I went, wait, my pizza or your pizza? She went, if we're together, it's always going to be your pizza, which you guys may or may not know, but I'm gluten-free now. So, we actually found, I think Denice did a live on this today. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing for me to admit this.
In New York.
In New York especially, the pinnacle of all pizza that is amazing. But 98% of it I can't eat now. And the 2% that I have been able to eat isn't that good. Gluten-free pizza is generally not that good. However, we stumbled upon... Domino's. Domino's has really good gluten-free pizza. There, I said it. Anyway, yeah, so we went to have pizza, and it was like really good. And we talked, and it was great. We talked about the shoot and some other stuff that we just hadn't had time to talk about for the last 2 days because all we've been doing is thinking about this thing that wasted our time and money before, and now we can get it to where we want it to, or where I want it to. Truthfully, that's the thing. And it was, it was good. But it was good because we both stayed in it. We both just stayed in it. It's not easy. It's not pleasant. But just staying in it and realizing that it's not the person. It's just whatever. She realized it wasn't me as a person. It was just something that I did to her. that was just something that I was like. Everybody talks about that. I'm jumping off. The cauliflower pizza. I haven't tried it yet, but I've heard everybody tells me about the cauliflower pizza dough from Trader Joe's. Actually, little plug for TJ there. I haven't tried it yet. There's not a Trader Joe's that close to us, but there is going to be, I think, very soon. But I will try it. Very nice. Trader Joe's. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but pizza is something you want to go out for. That's really...
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, my producers just this just in.
Just stop the madness with the cauliflower crust.
Yeah, I mean it's really pizza. It's true. Pizza. Part of the drill with pizza is going out to get pizza. Really. Yeah, it's not a nutrition thing. I think they heard you. I didn't really even need to repeat that.
Okay, redundant man.
I am redundant, man. See, even that was redundant. So, yeah, I don't know. I think I've talked a lot, but I have another point that I wanted to make up. That I wanted to bring up. Sort of, it's sports related, but I think it's salient to the subject, and it's how to handle trouble along all of these lines. If things come too easy for you, relationships included, we tend to get lazy, and that's not good. It's never good to get lazy, no matter what. Fighting blows, but as long as you stick with it, stick with the person, don't leave, if you have to go clear your head like I did, then please do that, but just know that you need to come back, and sooner is better. Going and taking a walk and looking at things is a really great idea. It gets you more in present time, which is what you want. And then stay in it, just deal with the person. Sometimes, you can handle what the actual cause of the problem is, but there was actually no way for us to do that yesterday. It wasn't like, oh, okay, good, I understand now, it's all better. It's like, no, that wasn't the drill. This was a kind of a painful process that we just had to get through. So we got through it, and it was, it's good. Hopefully the edit's great, and we'll be good with that. But Tom Brady has a book. It's not new. It came out last year, and I got it in November, I think. And the beginning part is really interesting. It's like it's his TB12 method, and it's his theory on pliability and how you handle your body and how he's done what he's done really so well. But the very beginning of the book is like a bio, which I've been a Patriots fan and a Tom Brady fan for years, and I didn't know most of the stuff in that front section of the book. So if you haven't had the book and you're interested to learn more about the man, the myth, the legend, Tom Brady, this is a great place to start. But what I actually think it is a really good thing for people to read who things come easy to. Because if things come easy to you, guess what? You're still going to run into trouble. And if they've come easy to you and you run into trouble, you're more likely to stop doing that thing because you've finally hit something that wasn't easy, So what he did is he just worked harder, and that is absolutely my my advice for the evening. If I could leave you with anything for tonight, it would be to don't get lazy, work harder at your teamship. Whatever it is that makes you a better teammate, then do that. If you're eating too much crap, stop it. If you're not moving your body enough, get to the gym, or just at least take a 45-minute walk every day. If you're not enhancing yourself in whatever way that will help you, whatever, spiritually, business-wise, financially, however, you should be getting on it. If you, at the end of the week, realize that you spent 30 hours watching TV, I don't think that's a great thing, but, who am I to judge? There is, however, time to get better at what you need to be getting better at. And, you can chunk out some of that time to do some self-improvement, because it's just going to be better for your team. And if you don't have a team, then you should be working your ass off to get as good as you can at yourself, so that when you do have a prospective teammate, then you're all spiffy and shiny and ready to go. So, all right, there's that. A lot of talk, couple of confessions. Denice and I fight, and I eat Domino's pizza now. Yeah, those were the confessions. I don't have any more.
Okay.
So, for those of you who have signed up or answered my one-question survey on happily-unsingle.com, I will be sending you an email sometime this week about the masterclass that starts next Tuesday. If you haven't and want to jump in on this masterclass, it's going to be like a much deeper version of what we experience here on Monday nights, like some real detail and some cool shit. So. But you can go to happily-unsingle.com and just answer my one-question survey, and everybody who signs up before Friday will get free admission to the masterclass. So I'm excited for it. That'll start on next Tuesday, and I'll be here again next Monday night for Man Mondays. Thanks very much. Have a great week.